Hi, I'm David Dodge. Welcome to Green Energy Futures. Blatchford is the largest planned carbon-neutral community in North America. And when Kassandra Starkell and Martyniak were looking for their first new home, they landed in Blatchford. We wanted to know what led this young couple to deciding on the green homes in Blatchford in the heart of the city.
Hi, I'm Martyniak.
Hi, I'm Kassandra Starkell, and welcome to our home in Blatchford. Yeah, we were looking to buy our first home. We were looking to stay relatively central in Edmonton, and once we found the Blatchford neighborhood, it just kind of clicked in terms of location and what we were seeing, what the homes were offering here, and the grade of building really for the community. We wanted a newer build home was one of them. The second thing was probably location, staying central, and then in terms of the Blatchfordness of it, we really liked the energy efficiency that was coming with the homes, and specifically the landmark home, everything that came built in and ready for us to move in. So having the solar already installed and not having to worry about that as a first-time home builder for upgrades, a heat pump, and all of the suite of it being net zero was really nice too.
The Blatchfordness that Kassandra's referring to comes from the Green Building Code in Blatchford. Her landmark home is super insulated, solar powered, and heated by a very efficient air source heat pump. And since the home comes with solar, it was net zero the day they moved in.
It was just kind of like crazy to think that we were at that point where we could move into a home and be almost reliant only on our solar energy and pull very little from the grid.
Thanks to the solar combined with the air source heat pump in their home, there is no gas bill, and there's a good chance they'll pay little or nothing for energy utilities. Secondly, they really appreciate the location of Blatchford right in the heart of the city.
So prior to moving, we were living in downtown Edmonton and really loved the community vibrancy of being close to everything. But we're looking to take just a little bit of a step outside of that core and slow down the pace a little bit, but still have access to all of those things that we loved, whether that be a short drive into the core or the bike rides that we take down into the community still, or my bike ride into work, which is a great option that we now have and really attractive when we were looking kind of to where to stay.
They love the pedestrian-only street in front of their home and are excited to see what's yet to come.
That the house is on a community walkway, which is a big selling feature too. So it's really nice to just have that community space to whether you run into your neighbors, you see kids playing, as well as the community garden aspect is really nice. It was really nice to pull in, see that space is carved out for not only the community, but community members as well. And I think just the growth potential too of the community about like what could be still for everything that's around, and as we develop more east to see what goes in there in that more high density area too is just like really exciting to step into a community kind of as it's blooming.
Cycling to work, living in the core of the city, looking for green features. I was curious how Kassandra became interested in these things in the first place.
I think it came from an early interest just in the environment in general when I was young. Yeah, I came from, my dad works in the oil field, so I don't know if it was a rebellion part of me to want to make a change or be that, help out when I could. But my parents would probably tell you from like an early age, I would annoy them about like recycling properly and making sure we had those things in the house. And I don't know, I think it must have been like teachers' influences, and I was always really interested in science class.
So, is this a trend we're seeing in younger demographics?
It depends. I would say I have two suites of friends, some that are very like-minded in that way, where they're making those decisions. We have some friends that are car-free, that bike exclusively or use car sharing. But for us, and I would say we don't fall so heavily into that camp. Maybe we straddle the two where we like to have those options. We're trying to do our best and make those strides and stay true to our core values and wanting to make a difference for the planet long term.
But for Kassandra and Martin, the landmark home hits the mark simply because it had solar included and was fully net zero from day one. It seems like Kassandra's the one who loves all the green features of Blatchford, so I had to ask Martin whose idea it was to move here.
She forced me into it. Yeah, if you want to stay downtown, like finding a newer home's virtually almost impossible. And I didn't want like an older home. So the moment we saw this, I was like, oh, this is my way out. Get the new home, boom, done.
And so was it kind of a happy coincidence that they were green, or was that just part of the decision making, or how does that factor in for you?
I think it was a happy coincidence. I definitely thought it wasn't in our price range, a green home. Maybe something with like higher efficiency windows, like better insulation than like we could choose a builder that way. But I didn't think that we were kind of in that price bracket to get a net zero off home or even just a home with solar. So that was like a really happy coincidence, I guess.
A happy coincidence indeed. This net zero home even has a battery to store solar power. Find this and more in our blog, and be sure to check out the other stories in our Blatchford series at GreenEnergyFutures.ca. For Green Energy Futures, I'm David Dodge.